With a silent stare, racing through the open air, he's without a care. Everywhere you look, he's right on time. Moving to the beat. Can you feel the heat when the tigers kiss the street?
thrilling installment of Warframe Wednesdays. I'm your intrepid host, Fraggoth, and I'm currently trying to press buttons to make certain magical things happen in the background that you can't see. I perhaps have managed to commit this act of sorcery undetected. Okay. I'm gonna hope that was a successful act of great sorcery. Okay, so what I'm gonna do real quick, because I just realized one of the solid-state drives on my computer decided to somehow go from having a certain amount of free room to having none. I have to figure out why that happened. I'm not going to do that today. Well, for purposes of this stream, but I do have to take care of that. That is part of what delayed me. Was seeing that and like my jaw just kind of dropping at the unmitigated audacity of whatever was going on. That I'm not absolutely certain as to the diagnosis. My suspicion is it's got something to do with Steam doing something in the background that I am not happy with, which it has done with great frequency over the last year or so. It has caused me no small amount of frustration. Meanwhile, listen to the dulcet tones of one of the Ridge Racer games. I think it's Ridge Racer 4? Sure. Could be Ridge Racer 4. Why not, right? Which is some nice cool shit. So I gotta figure out what my technical difficulty is. I suspect somebody mentioned on a Steam discussion board thread that Steam went ahead and downloaded literally every single piece of music from absolutely, like every single sound file from his entire games library. So I suspect it may have done something like that in the background, but I have to find where all that crap is stored. And I'm sort of surprised it did it on this drive and not another one where I keep the majority of my Steam stuff. Whatever. Steam. It's become rather bloated and obnoxious lately. If I could... Good old games is looking better and better every day. Let me put it that way. So... I'm gonna wait for the real meat and potatoes of what I was gonna do this stream for somebody to come along who had actually requested I do a Mirage breakdown. So until then, I'm gonna just do some like really basic farming stuff, or in this case, I'm gonna do the sortie. And build all this trash. Or collect all this trash, then build more of it, because I realized I was running, quote, low, unquote, on energy restores. Read. I only had like 300 of them. I want more than that. I'm going to save that. I'll build another one of those. I'll build another one of those. I never build log pits because I forget they exist. Loc pins, whatever they're called. Location pins. They allow you to basically plant a waypoint on an open world location that basically just stays there. It doesn't fade after however many minutes. I need to check mining real quick. Nope. More Hespicin. Hate that stuff. Oh, good. I have more thermic distillate. I need that. I don't need more tempered baffleite, I don't think. But I'll build more because why live, right? So yeah, the current resource grind for DMOS that I'm putting myself through is abject suffering.
Operator, my foundry has
It's not
completed
real.
a new
It's a
item.
pain.
Does this please the operator?
That is facility.
Operator, my foundry has completed a new item. Does this
Oh yeah.
please the
Well,
operator?
unfortunately, him linking those isn't going to make them
Orders have
show up
completed a foundry
in terms of
task.
where they drop.
No, don't
I
mention
believe all of those are supposed to drop from the new ISO vaults, or ISO vault adjunct bounties, which I've done a couple of now, and generally have come to the personal consensus that they suck.
Operator,
to
my
put
foundry
a
has
kinder
completed a
face
new
on
item.
it.
Does this please the operator?
Oh, I forgot to feed my feed it. Feed that. I can't feed that. I don't want to give it 7,000 of those. I think maybe 3,000 of those. This crap is so expensive. I want to hold on to that. Kind of a pain to farm. Doctor will never have to throw away willy-nilly. So leveling up this thing is kind of a chore. Why don't we check one of the rest? Let's go home. There we go. I'll get lucky this will level it up. Yes, it did. Does this actually give me anything? I don't think it did. Subsumable slots do I have? I'm not gonna rush to subsume. I've infused Roar in my Wisp, which seems to have been a bit of a mistake because I was under the impression that it boosted warframe power strength, and it does not. It does not. Not for purposes of Wisp, at any rate. Because I was like, oh, let's make my flowers even better. Didn't work that way. So instead, I just like plop it and then start doing a bit more damage than I was already doing. I think I'll probably use Eclipse instead, or Warcry, or a number of any other things. Actually, I might wind up using Proteus in its place. Proteus subsumed ability, because that way I can make depots that regenerate all sorts of things, including energy, including ammo. So that'll be good. So I might do that to be more support-y. Don't care about that. I have to check to see what the sortie is today. The sortie has a spy I want to actually try out. Rescue and assault also involve interacting with devices. This is gonna be a pain in the ass. Those three are not exactly my favorites to have to do. Well, a rescue is fine in a sortie. Rescues are fine unless it's Lua. Disruption, on the other hand, can be a bit of a bear, particularly if it's the third one on. Also, I finally built my Proboscis Cernos, which is fantastic. It's up there for me right now in terms of weapons I enjoy to use. Let's see here. We have to trim that music. Oh, I see what I did. Here we go. Let me crank that down a bit. People might be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. What did I want to do with this? I don't remember. Are you kidding? That was ages ago. My head's stuffy and my brain doesn't work. That is what the decongestant I intended to consume was for, and forgot to, because I was hooked up on looking at my solid state drive being like, holy shit, why is this full? Whatever. So the Zymos is fine. I like it. It's a handgun that makes things go boom. Therefore, good. Like, it's an explosive weapon, so you kind of want to avoid putting punch through on it. as a rule. There are, as I've indicated in previous streams, there are arguments in favor of putting punch through on an explosive weapon, but it's like a real fine line between waste of mod space and niche usability. So it's sort of a, I don't know. You gotta really question the value there. I really, based on the amount of room I have left in the thing, I really don't have much I can add to this. I can change around my mod arrangement, I suppose. Now, why did I do that? That's a little strange. I don't normally go for radiation. Oh, because it already does viral natively. Okay. Okay. What I might do, though, then, is... do corrosive and heat. Yeah, that makes more sense. Why I didn't do that before is anybody's guess. I don't think Ice Storm gets up to the damage I want, and it's kinda pricey. Yeah, it only goes up to 40% as opposed to 60. I'd like to fit in Fulmination if I could. I can if I get rid of Augur Pact. What'll the blast radius go up to? Not a lot. That'll go up to like 4. Yeah, 4.09. That's pretty mediocre. I'll keep the damage, thanks. I'm looking for heat. Yes, Scorch. There we go. No, not heat. Toxin. There we go. That should give me, yeah, corrosive heat. Yep, corrosive heat. So that thing will pack a kick. I don't know what I've done to this, because it doesn't start with an it starts with 2 hyphens, which is kind of questionable. Actually, if I get rid of that and do where are you? It does viral natively, right? Yeah, so I don't need to do viral. I can do corrosive again. Let's do corrosive again. Corrosive, and then I have 8 left over. What I need to do is get another V polarity on either one of those slots. That'll get me a big chunk of working room. I also need to check to see how close I am to... Oh wow, that's a bow, I forgot. So I could equip Thunderbolt to this. Unfortunately, Thunderbolt is one of the most useless mods in the game. I wish it weren't, because the idea of every time you shoot a bow, it makes the arrow, or 30% of the time when you shoot a bow, the arrow will explode. Sounds really cool. Unfortunately, it does a flat damage value, which is worthless beyond like level 10 enemies. So, yeah, no, sorry. I'll probably go with Vigilante Supplies then. I can if I have a free Exilus weapon adapter, which apparently I did. Okay. Plop. There was something else I wanted to... Oh, I wanted to put... Yeah, I have Firestorm on there. We're good. What I really, really want to get on there, though, is Vigilante Armaments. I have to find a way to wrangle that. If I put that there, I have 4 free, so if I put in... It'll reduce my damage, though, but... having a chance to have 3 of these come out will be nice, because of the way this thing works mechanically. And this will be shown off momentarily. Using this with Mirage is going to be a lot of fun. Let's put it that way. Where are you? For cost elemental mod. Force. Bing. No, that's the wrong one. High voltage. Danger, danger. High voltage. When we touch. Oh, when we kiss. So we got 2.5% multi-shot chance, which is nice. Means we basically have 100% chance every time we draw the string and release it to fire two projectiles, and a 50% chance to shoot a third. That's kind of good. Vigilante Armaments is one of the mods that I consider usually worth equipping. There are some instances where you can't easily fit it, or you might be able to get a better build by not using it, but those I find are few and far between. It's a really good cheap utility mod. On its own it's not worth much, but paired with Split Chamber, which also provides multi-shot, you have a pretty good setup. You guarantee 2 projectiles for any primary rifle type weapon, and there's a 50% chance of shooting a third every time you shoot. So, kinda useful. I'll probably also try to get heavy caliber on here after I get like 2 Forma on it. Or 3 Forma. Actually, do I have a spare Vigilante Armaments that I can have at a slightly lower level? Because the difference in 10% won't be that big a deal. Oh yeah, I absolutely do. Let me remove you. I forgot I had this. I want Stormbringer there. And... oh, because I only have 3, that's right. Okay. I remember why I did this. Do I have a low-cost Vigilante supplies? Yeah, I only need a rinky-dink one. I don't need the expensive one. There we go. That gives me 6 to work with. Which, unfortunately, is still not quite enough. What does that put me at? 7? Okay, perfect. High voltage. There we go. And we're back in a good spot again. I feel confident. So... this bow, like a lot of explosive weapons, direct impacts aren't necessarily your friend. Let me check what my Mirage build at the moment is. Okay. This is a strength build, that is a duration build with a little bit of strength and some efficiency. And then I've got my nuke in a box build, which is extremely special. And kind of meta, in a way. It's super niche, is what it is. There's like very few instances where it's actually worth a damn, but the ones it is good at, it is nearly the best at what it does. Let me just double check. Yes, this does have Hollow Malevolence. Okay, we'll be sticking with my strength build because we like strength. I should change the colors on my Mutilus Cernos so I can actually see its projectiles, but I'm not going to do it just yet. No, it's not a Mutilus Cernos. What is this thing called? Proboscis Cernos. You needed to use a Mutilus Cernos to build it, and in order to build a Mutilus Cernos, in my case a spare Mutilus Cernos, or Keranos, I don't know if it's supposed to be a hard C or a soft C. We'll go with a soft C. In order to build a spare Mutilus Cernos, I had to build a spare regular Cernos. So you have to build like 3 weapons to get 1. Well, 2 to get 1. By using those 2 in sequences. So you build a Cernos, you use that spare Cernos to build a Mutilus Cernos, you use that spare Mutilus Cernos to build your Proboscis Cernos. It's fun. I need to change my appearance. Yes, okay, good. I'm glad I checked. Regalia. Back sigil needs to be a steel. steal whatever they are, sigil, so that I am not, you know, gaining syndicate standing towards the wrong syndicate, which can happen, and I have done more than once. And yes, it is always a shame for display. Alright, so until I know that the individual that I wanted to do this for is on, I'm going to wait. Or I'm just going to do general things. Oh, I have to use an assault rifle? Gross. Okay, well, fortunately, I can do that. If it's rank, if they're sorted by rank, it should be the last one here. Yeah, there we go. Upgrade. Actions. And I'll do a V polarity there. Actions. Polarize. It's a Kuva weapon. In order to get anything worthwhile out of it.
The path to greatness is walked one step at a time.
That's convenient. Half tempted to go with heavy caliber, if I can fit it at some point. Because that'll make things a bit better. Why is this? Oh, because it has native fire damage. I am dense. So rhyme rounds. No, the other one there. Don't ask why I have that there. That seems ill-advised. I think because I had nothing better to put in that slot. Probably. Like, because otherwise it's something like arrow periphery, and who cares? Or tactical reload, who cares? Well, tactical reload's actually not that bad. That's situationally good. Oh, Hush. Hush is more useful. Make it a silent weapon. Holster speed isn't bad either, in truth. That'd go up to, what, 7, but that would require 4 mod capacity. So Kuva weapons are special. I know most people know this, but I'll mention it anyway. In that they can get, through use of multiple forma, they can get up to a max capacity of, or a max level of 40, and therefore a max capacity of 60 plus 20, whatever that is. 60 plus, yes, 20, it's 10 levels. So 80 capacity. They can be very, very capacious, for instance. I have all the mod capacity I could hope for, when you only have room physically for 8 mods plus an Exilus mod, which on an Ogress you really don't need. Like, I don't even know what I would put in an Exilus mod slot. I don't have ammo problems, it's an Ogress. Ammo maximum, okay. Otherwise, it's kind of like projectile speed actually wouldn't be bad. I could see that being very useful. Adhesive Blast doesn't do the Ogress any good because they're contact explosions anyway, so who cares? So other than that, you're looking at things like Twitch. The Vigilante supplies, if only to have the set bonus. To give yourself extra chance to enhance critical hits, which unfortunately this is not a crit gun at all. 9% critical chance does not lend itself well to critical hits. Other than that, Hush, you can have a silent rocket launcher. Until it explodes, then it's not silent anymore. Yeah, kind of goofy. You can make some use out of Gun Glide, actually, if you're using Heavy Caliber, because Gun Glide will mitigate a bunch of Heavy Caliber's negative effect, which is that minus 50% accuracy. You'll reduce a bit of the spread, not as much. But you've got the space to do it. But we're not using that. We're using the Kuva Hind, which is far less impressive. It's better than the regular Hind by a substantial margin. Is that something about shotgun spaz? Oh, that's from Thermia Fractures. I don't. Those amalgam mods aren't actually bad. They're pretty good, but because I already did this event back when it first happened, I don't think I could get those again. I really tried, come to think of it. The amalgam mods have their place. Because if you're out there, make yourself known, so I can start going into the gritty nitties. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing this, and I'll do the gritty nitties incidentally, and then I'll go over it again. Oy. What I do like about the Kuva Hind is that it's got like a full three-way fire selector. It's got a burst fire, which is the default, which the Hind normally has. It's got a semi-auto, which fires like a couple bullets at once. And a little splat. And fires reasonably quickly too. And it has full auto, which is what I tend to use the most. I have to go back and actually check the differing stats between the fire modes to see which one gets you more bang for your buck. You're mostly fine using whichever you're most comfortable with, I would think. That shield is very thick. Ooh, Guardian Derision? I have like 50 of that mod. Never mind. I was excited for a second. Why are we taking this so slow? Probably because we don't have melee weapons that are making short work of absolutely everything here. I would guess. Shoot me, I dare you. Oh, Mirage. Mirage can get away with so much nonsense. Because the duplicates I have around me attract aggro instead of my main body, enemies will shoot at them instead of me. So they will frequently miss. Very frequently. Add on to that the fact that they, two of them anyway, are performing additional shots every time I shoot. Yes. Sweet freebie. It's very handy. Mirage's 1 is your bread and butter. For typical gameplay, if you aren't building around it, you may be playing Mirage wrong. Why on earth are you not taking damage? I don't care, I'm out. However, she's got another buff skill, which is maybe better. If that's possible. If that's possible, it might be even better. Which is Eclipse. What Eclipse does is give you a pretty meaty buff, depending on whether you're in the light or the dark. If you're in the light, you get a colossal damage boost. If you're in the dark, you get a 95% damage reduction. Received damage reduction. This should count as the light. Yeah. So I'm getting a 674% damage boost while I'm in the light. As soon as I go into the shadow. I said as soon as I go into the shadow. Unless they do it based on where you cast it now, I should probably check. In any event, it'll save your life if you're in the dark. because you're taking a lot less damage. And it'll make you an absolute murder-saurus if you use it while you're in the light. It's kinda good. You'll notice I haven't used her 4, or her 2. That's because they're situational. Her 4 is actually not bad. There was a time when it was one of the best crowd control skills in the game. Then it got line of sight added to it. Its explosive effect, and that is now a lot less so. Let me get my proboscis bow.
Well put together, operative. Now get out there and
Cut down
make the noise.
So we'll do that. However, her 2 is so situational and requires such a specific build for it to be particularly worthwhile that I tend to avoid its use. It has value, but not with a lot of the builds that I work with on Mirage. So what her 2 does, and I'll try and show it off. I don't have a large range on this build, so it's not going to be especially obvious or easy to use. Is it'll convert any loot crates or lockers or similar. God, I love that. Oh, this weapon is just the absolute tits. I love it. I love it. Oh, I better rescue that individual. And turns them into traps that the enemy can, if they go near them, the trap will detonate or otherwise cause them harm. However, there's an augment for it that makes it go from being meh to being holy spinoli. Pretty good. Better than pretty good, I would argue. Superb. One of the best crowd obliterating nuke abilities in the game. The most questionable aspect about Mirage is the whole light versus darkness detection thing. You can be in what you're absolutely certain is darkness, as I did there, and it counts as the light. You can be in what you're nearly certain is light, and it's like, nah, it's dark, sorry. And I'm just like, but how? Also, I'm going the wrong way. Which isn't helping anyone. I get lost in this tile set so easily, the Kuva Fortress tile set. It is a failing of mine. I find this one harder to traverse than these guests. There we go.
You did it. The nav is out of operation, but you're not done yet. Find the command center. Command center controls the nav cannon's telemetry systems.
Oh my god, I don't know where I am anymore. I find this harder to navigate than the Orokin Derelict, and that is saying something, because the Orokin Derelict for a long time was the bar for difficult to navigate terrain. It's no longer true, because this tile set exists. In fact, I was once in a clan that required you to be able to traverse the Orokin Derelict in a timely manner in order to be considered, and I was like, I guess you don't want me. And then they learned that I was a Grandmaster Founder, and they set that requirement aside. And I felt kind of bad about it. I was like, I'm not sure I want to be part of this group anymore because you're elitists.
Insert the telemetry feed into the console. Good. One more to go. That's
Thank
it.
you.
We have protection. Protect the console while I reprogram the cannon's infantry.
There we go. Jeez Louise. It did not want to recast the ability. So what this weapon does, by the way, is it shoots an arrow. In this case, many arrows, and they all spread tentacles and then explode after groping things in. So yeah, it's like a Lens meets a Brahma meets Nidus's second ability. It's kind of good. I'll use her 4 because I might as well. So Mirage's 4 is a disco ball. It is mighty. It shoots out lasers that hurt things. And when you run out of energy, or you detonate it remotely, it, I don't even know where it is. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's why. If you detonate it remotely, on your own by hitting the cast ability button again, or, by, letting your energy run out, it, I don't think it does damage in a radius. It probably does, but it blinds everything in a pretty substantial radius. And back when the trials/raids were in the game, i.e. the real Jordas verdict and the law of retribution, 8-man, 8-man missions. There was a period of time when Mirage was the crowd control frame of choice. Those days are over, partly because those missions no longer exist, and partly because the blind now has a pretty substantial line of sight limitation that is quite aggressive and keeps enemies from being blinded a lot of the time if there's anything remotely resembling an impedance to their line of sight. Which is too bad, because blinding things is one of the better crowd control options that you have available in Warframe, because it generally means they take the equivalent of stealth damage, and is quite potent. Very potent indeed. What do I want to use? I could still use the Zymos. I don't really have a problem doing that. It's just not the massive gargantuan member damage that I would really like to be dealing against stuff in a disruption, but we'll be... Oh, that's what I'll do. I will use the Vitrica.
And make the Lotus proud.
No. Oh! I may have been in time. So this is a disruption. Disruption missions give you these little towers you need to activate and then kill a suicide bomber, kamikaze unit, whose name I don't remember right now, and keep them from blowing it up. They are usually quite durable. They deactivate powers in a radius around them in given pulses, or in periodic pulses, I should say, and are quite durable. Very durable indeed. They are not very kind. Oh, and this is lowered energy, so this is... Oh, this is going to suck. Yikes. I would have done things differently had I known. Well, maybe I'm lucky. I'll get lucky and this will actually work on it. I kind of doubt that, though. So we need to kill enemies till one of them drops one of the colored keys. Get wrecked. You schmuck. Boom. Okay, so enemies now do toxin damage because that's fun. Unfortunately, we can't use our 3 and our 1 at the same time. We have to get energy first, so it's going to be a little awkward for a while. Or, you know, I can just die. It's fine, it's fine. At least I have, like, corrosive damage on most of my loadout. That's going to help. I think somebody went ahead and killed it, so I think we're okay. I should probably turn down my music so I can actually hear this stupid thing coming. Oh, it's the other way. So... tricks you can... that was so close. Tricks you can use to actually deal with those guys is when you have the operator and you get, there's a operator arcane you can get from, I don't remember where it's from right now. Oh wow, that's actually locking him down. It's from either the Plains of Eidolon or from Fortuna. I don't remember which. I think it's the Plains of Eidolon, which does these little tethers and will hard CC anything they touch. It used to be those did damage, they don't anymore, thank God. Only because it was ludicrously broken when they did. They did unfortunate amounts of damage. They did like 25% of an enemy's health per tether, and you could cast it like 6 times in rapid sequence. But they removed that, but now it just does the crowd control, which is good. One of those is bound to get them. I'm noticing that not all of these are actually generating tentacles. The Mirage generated, the Mirage ability generated ones are not. Which is probably a sanity saving measure. They are still doing damage though.
Can't do anything about that last interference routine. You'll just have to wear it. Maybe I can catch the next one.
Okay, or I can't do any abilities. This is fine. Please cast the ability. Thank you. So yeah, this thing is like a Kuva Brahma, a lens, and oh good, somebody killed the thing. I love this gun. This gun is making me very, very happy indeed. This gun's pretty good too. Yeah. So Mirage is like a one woman powerhouse. One frame powerhouse. Army. Her having to listen really carefully, so I keep interrupting myself. Her duplicates again do not don't actually have a physical body there, but the enemies will shoot at them instead of you. So bullets are like whizzing past you on all sides on a pretty constant basis. Need to find energy. There's energy. Just need a basic pickup. There we go. I heard it. What the devil is going on? now I'm not meleeing. I don't like this. This sucks. What is going? Whatever. Mission's over. Hell with it. Let's move on. After this, I'll do like a. I don't know what I'll do. I have no idea. There was some serious lag there. I was not happy with it. But we got through it. Barely. And we got rewarded with Kuva. Alrighty. Don't remember what I was gonna do next. I lost me mind. Oh, that's not ideal, dearies. Don't lose your mind, it's a terrible thing to waste. I do still need to get an Octavia blueprint proper so I can make these into the frame. I think the same, yeah, I need to do the same for Baruch. Baruch I should be able to do right now, actually. Let me go do that. Vanus. Actually, I've got a better idea. Maybe I've already bought it. It is important to check these things, because sometimes I am wrong. Okay, I have, so I just didn't remember to do it. That's fine. We'll get that started. So I do want Baruch. I need to check on Mirage. Mirage. I'd have to actually do the hidden messages quest, I think. I'm trying to remember if you get spare Mirages from, because Mirage, when you subsume her into Helminth, which I'm still kind of working out the ins and outs for. Don't do that. Will give Eclipse, I think. I'm going to double check. Yes, it gives Eclipse. It is admittedly a nerfed version of Eclipse to other warframes, because Eclipse itself is strong. Is very, very strong. Causes great strength. It is a powerhouse ability when used reasonably well. It's pretty good. I also want to get Dispensary, so I need to check Protea to see what spare Protea components I have. I think I have none, unfortunately, because Dispensary would be absolutely magnificent on Mesa. Prot. Oh, I actually just need the chassis. And, of course, the main blueprint itself, which would really suck. That will not be a fun grind. I do need to find out where chassis come from. Will you see? When a mommy chassis and a daddy chassis love each other very, very much, they get together and they create a magical turbo stork from planet Zeptron. Which is where Protea chassis come from. Protea, well, I know it's from... I'm smart, and I don't know how to look for things. Manufacturer. Okay. Chassis. Acquisition. Chassis blueprint is from Extended, which is the middling ones. Okay. those are the ones I probably have least of, unfortunately. I think that's the one I had to grind my ass off for before, and it kind of sucked. What were they? Drop rates? 11% isn't the worst I've seen in the world. But it's pretty bad. Granum Void. So I think I need to do... If I need the exemplars, I need to do Jupiter and Neptune. And to do those, I think I want to be using an Octavia, because Octavia... And I'll probably bring the melee weapon to make it a little easier on me. Wow, somebody using Saren to do it. That's just bold. Are too powerful for Zores. What do you mean they're too powerful for the Zores? It one-shots them. Oh, they just did like a basic build. Yeah, okay, whatever. So I need to find out where I get the Protea blueprint from. The main blueprint. I think it's from Samaris. Ridge Racer, indeed. Completing the Deadlock Protocol quest. Components are hidden in the Granum Void, so that almost certainly means, unless I can repeat the quest, I'm gonna have to go to Samaris. Ick. Because I have to go to Samaris for like 2 other warframes at the, or 3. Let me find out which one I have to go to it for. Is it Steel Meridian? I don't want to go to Larunda, but it's taking me there anyway. It would take me to the plebeian one. Yes, the plebeian. Relay hub. Fast travel to Samaris. I don't think my Samaris one is done. It is not. I should really check to see what its progress is. Oh, that's actually not bad. But it's also 75k, so I'm not doing that. No! Okay, Gara Blueprint, I already did. Limbo might be one of them. I am not seeing Protea here. Here's Protea. But you have to actually farm up her components. I am going to... Oh, I can't. Shit. Of course it's 50k. It would be, wouldn't it? And farming standing with Cephalon Samaris is like pulling teeth. Oy. Okay, let me find out what my Samaris task is. Remind me of my target. Oh, I've already got two of them, that's not so bad. So I need to get 2 crawlers, that'll get me 10k standing, plus whatever they give, which is probably like 3k each. That will put me right at the edge. So I'm gonna do that real quick. So I have to find some regular, basic infested missions. Leave Larunda. Because I really do want to get Protea's ability if I can, because being able to make Mesa self-sufficient with her 4 will be pretty nice. And it was Jupiter and what? Whatever, just remember Jupiter. Okay, let me check my weapons and see what I need to level up. I think I'm going to swap this out for literally anything else. I really want to get those, but I need something for them. What is it that I need for those? Are you a Ridge Racer? I'm a Ridge Racer. Oh, Parasitic Tether Moss, which I actually had like 30 of, and then used some of them like an idiot. This Diamos grind, I'm telling you, is killing me. I have not been so upset with or so utterly tired of a grind in Warframe for a long time. Usually it's open world areas that do it though. And Diamos is trying to break me. And it's winning. And I don't like that. I think I'll get rid of the Zymos for now. Do I have an Aphrodite? Yeah, okay, so that's a spare Aphrodite, so I don't need that. I don't know what gun I want to shoot. Sugar. I have no idea. Something that goes bang. Or beam. Or bang. Or beam. Or boom. It go boom. So you're probably noticing a bit of a trend. Where with Mirage I like using things that go boom. That's because it's Mirage and she makes things go boom good. Oh, and I wanted to change melee weapons. That was the most important thing I wanted to do. And I didn't do it. There's a good reason to equip the Stropha, but for the life of me I don't remember what it is. It's a gunblade. And I know people regard it very highly lately, and I'm not sure why. Because I haven't used it much. Typically I've been fine with my my Redeemer Prime. It could be that it makes for a good if you don't have easy access to a Redeemer Prime, that might be the way to go. That might be what it is. Well, that reminds me. I'll put my Sigma Noctavis because I like it a lot. I have to go to my dojo real quick. Because there's some infested stuff I need to pick up. Some weapons. Why am I doing this the hard way? Biolab. Where are you? Is it the catabolist? Whatever the hell that is. Oh, I need more mutagen masses? Good God. Is such a thing even possible? Apparently I need to actually build mutagen masses again. This is not what I expected. I think I need to get that, don't I? Yes, that is expensive, but it also gives you 100 of those at once. So I need to pick up the blueprints for that and the whatever this is. Short-range stream of corrosive bile and then toss the ammo bladder as a grenade when reloading. I should have had this the better part of a week ago, but I forgot that I had set these up and to be done. So I'm a little, I'm sorry, I guess, that I'm having to do this on stream. What on earth? Okay, regular damage, radial attack from chucking your... I only need the one. Fortunately, I've got more credits than I know what to do with, although that number has been awfully low lately. This is awful noise. Oh, because for some reason it's... No. I'm just going to move to the next track. Thanks. Which I think is another Ridge Racer soundtrack. Yeah, it is. This is fine. Replicate. Okay, so I need Argon, that's easy. I need mutagen masses, that's time consuming. Especially getting 10? Because I'm gonna, well, 11 really. What else do I need? Just plastids. Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get like 10 of them regardless. Because I gotta get one for this, I gotta get... Yeah, and either get that done or make this happen. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. Well, first world 10-0 problems, I guess. I'm gonna get some mutagen masses building. And then it's going to say, you don't have any mutagen mass blueprints, and I'm going to cry. There are ways to shortcut that, and I will show off what those are real quick. Mutagen mass. I have 3 blueprints left. That is about what I didn't want to hear. May as well get one building now. Why does this come up when I type in mutagen? These don't require mutagen. I am confused. I've got to build these anyway, so I'm going to do that. These are for leveling up the Intrati standing, but I'm not going to be able to do that for a while because I have to get more grandmother tokens. Diamos, I'm telling you, making me want to cry. Will I have enough scintillant for both of these? Yes, because I only need scintillant for this, for some reason. Yeah, this is going to be the easiest to deal with. I don't know why they decided to make the Catabolist use new resources and the Bubonico not, but I guess I don't kill. I don't care. I don't even care. So to get more mutagen masses more quickly, because that's what, like 6 hours to build one? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy like 10 blueprints. Mutagen. Yeah, it's 12 hours. God, killing me, dude. Killing me. Absolutely causing me to be killed. For mutagen masses, and now I have something in my eye. Where are you? I can't see. We don't want that, and that's not doing me any good. So none of these have mutagen masses available as rewards, so I can't even do that. You know that feeling you get when you just kind of want to curl up into a ball and fall asleep? That's what the Diamos update has done to me. Like, it hasn't removed my will to live, but it has made things so hard to feel like you're making any headway at all. Fortunately, isolation vaults give you all the resources, so it's a matter of doing those over and over and over again and staying sane. That's the difficulty. So I guess I'll go into my Mirage breakdown because I have nothing better to do. So Mirage. Mirage is cool. Mirage is great. Mirage is wondrous. we're going to go to her abilities. I'm going to actually cycle through her tips as well. So her one is her Hall of Mirrors ability, which makes her duplicates. It's pretty good. I actually have to go to upgrade and find either a general build, which I don't have. Okay. Gnashing my teeth. So this is good. You're just gonna have to bear with altered stats then. Sorry. So Hall of Mirrors basically makes two duplicates. They do a percentage, and it's usually low, of the damage that you deal per thingus, per duplicate. But it's only 2 of them will ever shoot. It used to be that all 4 shot. That is no longer the case, because it was causing server overload, and you were even more disgustingly strong than you are now, and you're disgustingly strong now. Enemies will shoot at them instead of you, so bullets will go to the side of you, usually. They typically stay relatively static, and so like when you turn, you'll be like looking through one, which is a bit distracting, but you figure it out. Her passive is that she slides 85% longer, and her acrobatic maneuvers, which is things like backflips. Like if you tap the sprint button to roll, you'll do that faster. Not a big deal. Not game breaking. It's something to get used to. It's cool. Sleight of Hand is her second ability, which is the one that turns things into booby traps. She basically lays down a mine, which will explode, but also any nearby crates and lockers will turn into explosive objects. And a few other things, I think. Things that you could interact with will turn into dangerous explosions. And then if you have Hall of Mirrors active, you'll cast a couple extra jewels that are slightly weaker, I think. Eclipse is your one of your other big buff powers, because it'll, as I described before, it'll last for X amount of time. In this case, this is a max duration build, so that's why the damage stats are lower, but the duration is very, very long. And so it'll boost your damage by a pretty hefty amount. That does not include power damage, just weapon damage. As far as I know. And that's when she's in the light, so if she's in a non-shadowy area, or what the game claims is a non-shadowy area, a light area, she'll deal a lot of damage. And if she's in a shadowy area, she'll take a lot less. She gets a big armor, or a big damage reduction. And I believe that stacks with things like adaptation, so having adaptation equipped is very wise. And then Prism. You throw out a disco ball. It shoots lasers. All the lasers hit enemies. There is a limit to the number of lasers. This is showing with this not base level, not base damage build, or base stats build. I gotta turn down this music so I can think. Sorry, folks, who are enjoying that kind of obnoxious sound. It shoots out 20 lasers. This one does, but I think at base level it's somewhat fewer than that, but that's more than most enemies you're going to be seeing in most situations anyway. It does damage, like in ticks. It goes like tick, 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 damage over time. So I think when you see that damage stat down below with the radiation symbol next to it, it's doing that like per second or so. So it's reasonable damage. You can build it to be quite damaging and clear rooms wherever the lasers are capable of hitting. It moves and it'll bounce off surfaces somewhat unpredictably. There is an augment, and I'm going to go into the augments that change almost every ability she has. In fact, there's an augment for every ability she has now. And some of them are fairly dramatic. I think her augments are a bit better on average than most other frames have gotten. Most other frames get augments where it's like, oh, here's this thing that's either completely mandatory or completely useless in order to make the frame worth using. Whereas with her, it's kind of a combination of the two, where there's some trade-offs, but also some things that are just like really worth having. She's actually kind of tough for me to spec out properly because she's got so many good, reasonably good augments that it's kind of like, well, you can't really use all of them at once because it's taking up 3 mod slots. Or 4 if you really wanted to use the Prism one, which is kind of the most of the lot. And it's still not bad, but not exactly what I would call phenomenal. So yeah, you throw out a disco ball. If you run out of energy or press the button again, it'll explode and that'll blind everyone in a radius for X amount of time. It's pretty good. It is not a bad ability. If you've got spare energy, sure, throw it out there. If you want to... The wind-up animation is really lengthy, and that's kind of my biggest gripe with it, is if you want to use a prism spamming build, which doesn't really work anymore, but you could if you wanted to blind everything, you'd really want, what's it called? Natural Talent, I think, which speeds up your power cast animations, because you're just like sitting there casting this ball for a million years when you're starting it up. The detonation animation is instantaneous. It's basically as soon as you hold the button down or tap the button again. I had something else intelligent to say, but I don't remember what it was. I'll go into augments in a minute. I'm going to go over the tips. Only a couple of the mirror clones fire with the Mirage, but all of them perform melee attacks. Oh, really? I did not know that. That explains why I'm able to throw out like 4 pucks when I use the Zenistar. Hall of Mirrors clones mimic different weapon attacks, including alt fires and melee charge attacks. I did know that. Basically, if you're doing an action, they can do it. Except, as you saw when I was using the Proboscis Cernos, the projectiles they were shooting out were not causing the tendrilless rope things to come out and grab enemies, which is kind of a downside. That sometimes happens. If there's like an extra effect that a projectile does, it sometimes won't. And that may not be intentional. That may be an accident. It may be that it is intended to make those work, but I don't know. Cast Hall of Mirrors to draw enemy fire to Mirage's clones instead of her. Been over that. Equip Mirage with area of effect weapons to quickly clear rooms. This means if you equip a Kuva Brahma and you use Mirage, you are going to obliterate everything that you can see, and as well as most of the things you can't. Sleight of Hand turns security cameras into allies. That's another one of the things that gets changed, as well as turrets. It also will turn, like if you're on the Corpus ship tile set, you know how there are those doorway lasers where if you get spotted, those will damage enemies now and can be quite dangerous indeed. Sleight of Hand when there is a large amount of ammo pickups on the ground for a chance that they'll randomly explode and deal cold damage to nearby enemies. This ties into one of her augments, and I'll go over that when we get there. Total Eclipse is an augment mod for Eclipse that grants allies in range its benefits. Total Eclipse used to be completely worthless because it had a range of like 5 in-game meters. You had to be basically humping someone for it to do anything. It's better now. But unfortunately, in order to take advantage of it as a buffing mechanic for allies, you kind of have to have higher range than a really strong buff build would have. So they'll never... And it doesn't give them the full benefit. It gives them a partial benefit anyway. It's still pretty good. Like if you wanted to buff a team, it's not at all bad. It's just not super. And now that you've got the ability to subsume a Mirage and put Eclipse on any warframe, it's sort of even more questionable. Sleight of Hand is useful. Especially useful in spy and rescue missions. Cast it when enemies are rushing to consoles to cause an explosion. Consoles also turn into traps. They can still press the consoles, though, sometimes. That has happened to me. Prism bounces off of surfaces and can be especially useful in narrow pathways, or made less useful. Prism deals increased radiation damage when Mirage is in direct light versus when she's in shadow. I did not know that. So, augments. Upgrad. Augments. Let's go to our augs. Augs. So, yeah, here we go, duration. She has a bunch of different augments. Total Eclipse is that augment they mentioned in the tips. And if I go to Nuke in a Box, I think has the maximized range. Yes, it does. And we're going to talk about this build in a minute, but so don't worry about it yet. Prism Guard is the wrong mod. Total Eclipse is the right mod. Total Eclipse. Eclipse augment while active. Allies within 15 meters benefit from Eclipse. It used to be less than that, and it didn't say how much it did. Then its base level is made 15, and now augment mod effects actually scale with the other mods you have equipped. So now Total Eclipse with a max range build will cover a 42 meter radius, which is much better. It may be affected by actually, this doesn't say. I'm pretty confident that it has a reduced effect. Let me actually check that. Let me check that. Total Eclipse. Total Eclipse. Why is this giving me other wikis? Get out. Stupid goddamn wiki. Damn this wiki. Let me check. It is saying 100%, so it must be better now. It doesn't apply to companions or specters or friendly AI, which is unfortunate. Let's see. Effects abilities with a projectile or weaponized property, such as radial javelin, peacemake. Oh, that's interesting. So anything. So exalted weapons, I guess, would work, and apparently antimatter drop, which is interesting. From Nova, which takes some explaining. Range is affected by ability range, affected defense objects. Oh, defense objects are affected now, right? Because they did that pass that made it so that buff abilities actually work on those. Mirage's own lighting conditions do not matter. If an ally in range is standing in the light, they will get a damage bonus. If an ally in range is standing in the shadows, they will receive damage reduction. So that's good. Effect is applied, removed continuously based on proximity rather than only applied when Eclipse is initially cast, which is 50-50. Total Eclipse. This says nothing about having a reduced effect. That is interesting. So they must have removed that. So now it does provide the entire bonus, which is huge. You can make your team very strong. Oh, somebody's saying it also provides the benefits to Necromex, but the benefits change from light to dark depending on the emissive colors. Boy. Yeah, so I guess it works for everyone. That's very cool. So it's not bad. I don't know if it's the most worthwhile mod to equip, but it, like, if you want to buff your party while playing as Mirage, it's pretty great. We're going to talk about Explosive Ledger Domain last. So Total Eclipse is a pretty good augment. Prism Guard is less so. I'm not hugely fond. So what it does is instead of making the prism, the disco ball, fly through the air and then bounce off of objects, it like hovers over your head. It reduces its duration by a meaty amount. This is saying change to 1 second because it's not leveled up. Out of interest, duration would get shortened from where's duration? 36.72 seconds down to down to 3 seconds. That will go, actually, if I go to mods and max it out, which is kind of pointless because I'm never going to equip this thing, but we'll do it anyway because we're never going to equip this thing. Fusion. Ha. Goes up to 4 seconds, oh my gosh! 4 seconds worth of having a thing dangling over your head doing nothing! We'll bump it to 12 seconds, which is slightly less trash, but still very bad. Streamline. Augments. Hall of Malevolence, which I have equipped on here. The Hall of Mirrors, it augments Hall of Mirrors, which is your first one, the one that makes duplicates. The damage of your doppelgangers is increased by 5% every time you kill an enemy. I think there is a stack limit on that. And I don't think it is changed by your power damage either, but it will go up. So at a not quite maxed strength build, maxed strength, fully maximized strength would imply that I would have the two other Umbral mods equipped, which would bump you up to like 3. Geez, I used to have this memorized. It goes from 44% up to, I think, 55, or is it 66? Suffice it to say, it'd be probably like 340 or 350 something strength, which is, in my opinion, not enough of a gain to be worth sacrificing 2 full mod slots, 3 technically, to do. I don't think it's worth it in almost every situation. But that's me. I am not the be-all, end-all. You are getting additional durability out of having those other 2, but I find it's often more worth your time to just not get hit. Which, Mirage can do. You'll notice, though, that I still have adaptation just in case. So, Hall of Malevolence, I'm going to check real quick to see if that does Hall of Malevolence. Checking the wiki real quick to see if that does have a max cap. It does. So it goes up 5% per enemy. It stacks a maximum of 10 times. So they will deal an additional 50% damage, and because I'm at not quite max strength, but let's call it max strength for purposes of all sanity and reason, you already are dealing 67.4% damage with each of your Hall of Mirrors clones. If you are able to kill 10 enemies while Hall of Malevolence is active, they will be dealing 127 or 117%. Oh wait, what does this say here? And I know that the damage increases reset once Hall of Mirrors expires. It says the damage boost is applied multiplicatively and not affected by ability strength. So I'm pretty sure that's just... What? Oh, so it's either that or they do 80% extra damage. Or 90% of your damage. It's still a lot. It makes them quite strong. Oh, here we go. Somebody has some number crunching. Let me skim this real quick before I start reading things aloud. Okay, so it is because it's multiplicative, it's only going to be raising. It's going to be so if you're at 67.4 plus 50%. Let's do actual math. 67.4 times 0.5 equals plus 67.4 equals, yeah, you would just break barely 100%. They do 100% of your damage, I think, if I'm reading this correctly. Or, wait a minute. 60% clone damage. Oh, here we go. So it will increase 60% clone damage with 300% ability power to 90% total clone damage. Yes, okay, I am understanding it correctly. Very good. I did in fact do the math correctly, it seems. So, okay, I'm going to try and explain this intelligently, if my understanding is correct. So, with Hall of Malevolence, if you kill 10 enemies while it's still active, you'll have your clones doing 100 point something, with this build anyway, with 337 strength, which is a lot. Normally, the best you're going to get is going to be like, where are you? Intensify. Going to be like 323, which will put you just under 100%. They'll be at like 95 or 98 or something. Really, really close. With this maximized strength build, they'll do basically all of the damage you do on melee attacks, I think. Yes, on melee attacks, because that, I believe, is what that number is indicative of. Because it's each clone will be doing a melee attack, and it adds like half again or doubles or something with the with guns, because they make it so that because there's only 2 shooting guns, it was done as a performance saving measure. So they made it so that only 2 clones are shooting weapons at once, but they're doing they're doing double the damage they would be doing if they're doing, yeah, the same damage they'd be doing if all 4 were shooting, but less projectiles, which is worse in some ways, and better in others. Worse for status builds, better for something else, probably crit, I don't know, maybe not even then. In any case, saves performance in the long run. So this will get you up to, like, they'll be doing just slightly more damage than you're already doing. You can, if you have a arbitration that boosts Mirage and her power strength, your clones will be out damaging you by a hefty margin. Hall of Malevolence makes this all even better. Basically, it makes your clones do more damage for just killing 10 enemies, which, with some of the wide area weapons you can use, and maybe should use, with Protea, with Mirage, because of having the additional projectiles, it's you'll do that with frequency. Alright, now to the real odd niche meat and potato. So this build, I'll talk builds now. So this build that I use most often is emphasizes strength and gets as much duration as I can pack on. I could probably put more duration on if I really had to. And would like to, but can't. I would need what? Where are you? Or do I already have? Yeah, I already have narrow-minded. I would need to trade probably something like Streamline for, which I don't want to do because my powers are expensive enough as it is, for Primed Continuity. Or Augur. Well, I'd rather not. If I'm going for Maximized Strength, I don't want to get rid of Augur's Secrets. But just for the sake, there's no easy way to do this because it's kind of a pretty knife edge. It could honestly use another forma in here if I could swing it. And I'd probably put it up there, or make this an aura forma and equip not power donation, but steel charge. Yeah, and I don't have an aura forma in there because of course I don't. I don't use those often enough. I really should get around to them. So I'd want more duration, but I'd only be getting an additional. Actually, that would be quite meaty if I could replace Streamline. But your efficiency would go rock bottom. Like right now, my efficiency is at 75%, so everything costs like 25% more, which adds up very quickly. You have to remember that it's going to cost like it's less than 32 energy per Eclipse and Hall of Mirrors, and I mostly have Streamline there to make it at all usable. So it's maximized strength with as much duration as I can throw on there. Range is completely disregarded because the two powers that I'm using all the time are Hall of Mirrors and Eclipse. It's because I want to be buffing myself all the time. I wish to become stronger. Oh, hey, Jose. Sup? Sorry I didn't see you. I've been on a wiki page, so I only just saw your messages. I apologize. I hope you're still here. So that's the idea behind this particular build, is have as much strength and as much duration as you can have, emphasizing on strength. Try and have some efficiency so that you're not just drowning. So, I don't have anything that boosts my total energy. I have nothing boosting my health or shield. So I'm fragile. Like, I have only 240 health. I only have 330 shield. And I only have 225 energy under typical circumstances. So it's tight. It's kind of a tight build, but I'm also not using Sleight of Hand at all, and I'm not using Prism at all, for all intents and purposes. So those might as well not exist for me. For the same reason, I really am only going to be using as an augment Hall of Malevolence. I'm not going to equip, where are you? Total Eclipse, because Total Eclipse, A, would take up a mod slot that I can't afford. I could barely afford Hall of Malevolence. And I'm doing it only because it makes Hall of Mirrors just that much better, and I like that. But also because I have no range. So if I equipped Total Eclipse, 15 meters would go down to 5.1 meters, which is about where it was at before the buff. So useless, unfortunately. So yeah, hi Jose Garcia. Thank you for tuning in. Other builds. I've got a duration build, which I don't use very often, which is designed to emphasize only duration, with some efficiency and some strength. I would use this, I guess, for, but has no range. I don't know why I have this build. Probably still to do Hall of Mirrors and Eclipse, but to do, make them just last low upkeep, so I don't have to worry about recasting. I also have Primed Flow on there, which is sort of excessive, and some durability with Primed Vigor. Now for the really weird build, which I kind of like, but only for the specific situations in which it is worth anything. That is a depolarity. Okay, there's nothing I can do about that. Which is a ranged build. This has no duration, or very low duration, and extremely low efficiency, unfortunately. So I can only... It's so hard to use this build. It's so hard. There are better ways I could have this arranged, but right now the way I've got it set up is maximized range, so at 280 range, and as much strength as I can stack on, which is right now 262. and using Explosive Ledger Domain. So Explosive Ledger Domain sleight is an augment for Sleight of Hand, where ammo drops and orb drops from enemies are turned into proximity mines that deal a certain amount of damage with 100% status chance. Now, all of them, by the way, it does it to all of them in the radius of the initial cast of Sleight of Hand. All of them turn into explosives. Each one can do 1310 damage of a given status type, and they'll explode in a radius of 56 meters each. Now think about a typical battlefield after you've killed, say, 10 enemies, and all the stuff that gets littered on the ground. Energy orbs, health orbs, ammo drops. That's a bunch of them in a pretty close area. Well, if an enemy goes near them, those explode. And all of them are going to explode, and all of them are going to deal damage. So that 1310 damage, which seems, okay, goes up. It becomes much more viable. And one cast of Sleight of Hand is going to cover a, drum roll please, and anybody who knows how to read already sees this, so I'm going to stop drum rolling, 112 meter radius. So that's entire tiles. Many entire tiles are covered by this. So this is, under specific circumstances, one of the most powerful nuking builds in the game, with a couple caveats. One, it requires those objects to be on the ground. So you need somebody to act as a pilot light. You need somebody to get that murder train started. And to do that, you need somebody who's probably another nuke frame, probably. Say a Volt, using his overload or something. You need a seed to start this growth, this proliferation of arms, if you will, this proliferation of exploding death. I am going to show this off, and there is an easy way to do that. Where this build shines is on, and basically what it's designed for, much to my chagrin, is Sanctuary Onslaughts. And that is where we are going to go. It's to a Sanctuary Onslaught mission. Elite Sanctuary Onslaught is probably better. So disadvantages of this build is you can't really use your other two powers all that much, or Prism for that matter. So it's literally built around one ability and one ability alone. And you kind of fight with Sarens. You fight with Sarens a lot, because you kind of work at cross purposes. So you'll notice a bunch of things dying now. Part of that's me, part of that is this Saren, I suspect. You also have to recast it occasionally. You do not have to recast it as often as that countdown implies, though, because the death objects will remain. So you see that right there? I'm going to cast it again. And you see that's where it was. Those are all glowing. Those will all explode if an enemy gets within range. So damage numbers. You can see many damage numbers. It is a rather potent ability. And the more enemies that die, the more powerful it becomes. So I'm doing damage over time from all sorts of things. And as soon as enemies spawn in, they're right on top of things that explode, so they get killed. So right now I am maybe not doing as much work as the Saren, but pretty close. That changes later. The Saren has to maintain a much higher multiplier and has a much harder time keeping it up than I do with this. But the other disadvantage of this is it is most useful in this situation, and I would argue almost only useful in this situation, which is kind of a disadvantage. Hey, you see more enemies died, which means more boom booms. I don't think there's an upper limit to the number of traps you can have planted. I'm going to check that right now. Explosive Ledger Domain. Explosive Ledger domain. Not affected. Nope, I want to jump through that. Oh my god, what's going on? Stop. Damage is affected by ability strength, whereas status chance is not. Status chance is 100%, I think, regardless. Explosion triggering radius is not affected by ability range. The triggering radius, the actual explosion radius is. The damage radius is, but the triggering radius, they have to be kind of on top of it, which is another potential downside. I'm gonna get somewhere that's a little more off the beaten path here. Hopefully less likely to get me shot. They're all being affected by about a gorillion status effects. So this build also works for someone who wants to do like condition overload. Conversion range is same as sleight of hand trap radius, 40 meters at max ability rank, so it's 112 meters for my boosted range. Centered on the caster. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was where I casted at, but evidently not. Duration is not affected by ability duration, which is another advantage. You don't have to worry about building for all sorts of other things. So different drops do different things. Ammo is converted to cold damage. Affinity orbs are converted to toxin damage. Energy orbs are converted to electricity damage. Health orbs are converted into heat damage. And they're all turned into proximity mines that go boom boom. Affected pickups are destroyed in the process and cannot be picked up by Mirage. Ally players' client-side pickups are unaffected. So the drops disappear for me when they explode, but not for my friends. Go away. Go away. Stop it. Go away. So again, the biggest disadvantage this build has is it does need something to get the murder train going. And that is kind of the trick. But yeah, it's really good crowd control, because enemies are like being burned and frozen and, or chilled rather, don't actually freeze solid, and toxined and electricity, so they're like staggering there being like, oh god, what's going on? I can't even move, and they're taking big old chunks of damage. I have to find where that is. So, for Sanctuary Onslaught and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, this Explosive Ledger Domain build is monstrous. You also start... I don't think you typically have enough energy to actually cast it straight off. I'm gonna let those guys die first. Oh, no, 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 no. That's bad. Go away. Oh, boom, boom time. So you saw those all disappear. You can't see all of where the actual mines are, but you can see a lot of them. Suffice it to say, they're out there. But my allies are not losing drop pickups. If they were, it would probably be a lot worse, but they do not lose those. Or it'd be more disruptive. As it is, enemies mostly are just going to die much. There is much death. So Explosive Ledger Domain build, it's kind of silly. And I can do, I can cast my 1 and my 3, my Hall of Mirrors and Eclipse. That is a thing I can do, but they don't last very long, and they're draining energy from an already energy-hungry ability. So it's kind of like, find some place to hide and then cast it. Speaking of which, I need energy. And all the normal things that are turned into traps are also turned into traps, like doorway things, and other such items. But yeah, and then the enemies die, they leave behind more things, and you just recast every now and again. And death. Death surrounds you on the plane of battle. It's pretty gross. Again, kind of only useful for this, sadly. But still immensely useful at this one specific task. Especially since it's affecting everything in a 112 meter radius, so that's 59 meters away, and that's way out there. How far away is that if I pick that? That's no more than, yeah. So this entire tile, which is the only tile that all these enemies are coming from, get down there, is being affected. So this is, I think, what most young people would call a meme build. But it is a very powerful meme. It is very, very strong. I knew those didn't reach through walls. I knew that. I do wonder if the tentacles will reach through walls if I activate, if I put a punch-through mod on. Because that would make the first explosive weapon that's worth putting punch-through on. Which should be a hell of an experience. Yeah, these are high-level Grineer. I don't know how high level. How high level are these Grineer? Level 83. They're dying. Part of it, of course, is the Saren. So right now we're probably at an awkward medium where we're not totally ruining each other's vibe. She can only help me. I can kind of only hurt her because I'm killing things early, earlier than she might like. But that's fine because I don't care. I'm selfish. I'm selfish. I need energy. So all those big glowy, those glowy spots are all the equivalent of murderous claymores. Each one can explode and do horrible things. This is actually a build I'd kind of want to put Protea's subsumable skill dispensary on, because then holy shit, what would that do? Could I basically have localized Jesus. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm gonna have to look into that and see if dispensary can be weaponized with this. The disadvantage there is the reduced duration, but I don't know how drastic that is. But yeah, so I just have to cast this every now and again. After, like, a wave of enemies spawns in. So yeah! Ridiculous Mirage build. Kinda dodgy in practice outside of a Sanctuary Onslaught or Elite Sanctuary Onslaught. Dodgy in the sense that it's maybe not the most effective build in the world because you're trying to move places. You don't necessarily need enemies that haven't spawned in yet to walk over something that might spawn in eventually. But it'll cover large chunks of the map regardless. So it's still not even all that bad on regular missions, just not necessarily great. Because you have to make forward progress and you're not really able to use it defensively all that well. A defense mission though? Oi. Oi. Welcome to Murderville, destination all those dead guys. Population all those dead people. 0 is the population. Yeah, it's starting. It does eventually cease to be as effective once you're getting enemies in the hundreds of level range. But it's still meaty damage. So I'm definitely going to put a Forma on this Proboscis Cernos. Definitely putting a Forma on it. But the actual detonation radius of each mine is kind of small, so they have to be kind of right on it. Which is why this particular map, or this particular game mode is so good for it. So, I'm gonna drink some coffee while I let the murder progress. There we go. They go off eventually. Just like helping them along occasionally. out of energy. That is the problem with this build, is you don't have a huge energy cap. Ah, all these damage numbers. Yes, yes. It's like being a Saren, but doing numerous different kinds of elemental damage types, which with forced procs every single time an enemy gets killed. I'm gonna keep going. There's no reason why not. That's right. I have ammo mutator on my. Well, hello. So this is partly just to get the murder train started. I don't have enough energy to cast it. Ah, no. Host migration, my greatest nemesis. I'm gonna see if I can get to wave 8 solo. Ah, shit, no, I have no energy. God damn it. And I can't use items at all. Because of friggin' energy drainers. So I'm not gonna be able to beat this probably, because I don't have the starting energy to make it happen. So I need a lucky energy drop. Very lucky energy drop, because fortunately I can just stay in the air and deal damage, which is okay, but not exactly allowing me the forward momentum I need. Either that or I stay in a corner until I have like 100 something energy, which isn't likely. Let's see if I can open one of the... I'm still losing energy, so there's a Ancient Disruptor nearby, and I don't know where, or an Eximus that is a Leech Eximus or something. I don't know. One of many different possibilities. So I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. Ah, yes, 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 yes! It begins! Okay. Alright, we're good. You'll notice my efficiency is now holding about level and starting to go up a bit. I may still not be able to get to round 8, but we'll find out. I also am not going for... I'm gonna get one of these. Where are you? There you are. Get that. Yes, yes, yes. Shut up. No kidding, Deuterino. That I'm alone kind of sucks. So I'm hoping I don't have infested... Yeah, I'm done.
Go further. I require more efficiency. The specimens no longer interest me. It is you I study.
I have to cast it again. That's okay. As ever, the main rules of Warframe and surviving are move. Move and don't stop moving. I'm gonna go to Zone 8 and call it. They are not taking tons of damage here. They will eventually, but not just yet. You need to pick up some ammo. Another thing to be careful of on these Sanctuary Onslaught missions is if you cast a power too often, it will keep you from using that ability, and that is the one thing I cannot allow to occur. That will end the run immediately. So as you can see, my efficiency is now up at 100% because the murder train has come into the station. But right now I'm sort of having some minor energy difficulties, but nothing too earth-shattering. Plop a, there should be fine. The difficulty with the infested is if there are any ancient healers around. I'm going to go to zone 8. Yes. And at the end of zone 8, I will not go through the portal. What we got? Got more infested? Really? Okay. I'm not exactly thrilled. So I just have to be able to basically cast this twice and it becomes self-sustaining. Which means I need the energy to do that. Which is the tricky part. I'm gonna grab that health, energy pickup. Which did very little indeed. Okay, we should be good to go and not have to worry. Because I'm out of range of the disruptors or Eximus units or whatever that keep me from gaining energy. There's another energy orb, I want that. I'm going to plant one there. So all the things are turned into traps in a radius around me, as opposed to around the jewel mine thing that I planted on the ground, which is something to keep in mind. And I do have to keep using my operator mode to gain some energy, but them's the breaks. It's a parasitic Eximus. I don't like them. If I have enough energy over... Oh my gosh, they're getting a little ambitious. You cheeky boogers. And you can't use items in this mode either, so you have to be a little bit tricky. Or cagey, rather, about how I'm doing all this. Yeah, I'm noticing my efficiency has dropped way off. I'm not sure why exactly, but it's okay, sort of. So I should be able to make it to the end of this with no problem, but things are not going quite the way I'd like them to. This is also kind of a widespread area. I didn't want to go through that. I really didn't. So I might just get myself killed. Oh, this map is basically undoable as well with this. This map is hard for every frame, because they can spawn in a million different places.
Specimens must experience unmatched stress. Increase your effort.
Increase the soup. Well, I got a bunch of fancy relics. That's nice. I don't think I had anything equipped that was gaining me, what's it called? Yeah. See, I got just 2199 kills from all that, which was pretty much about right. Personally, though, I prefer my strength build where I'm using my 1 and my 3 a lot because I feel a lot more dynamic. I'm going to actually put a forma into this. I'm going to put one in probably a V right here or there, either one. Actions. V polarity. Apply. Yes. That gives me 7 to work with, which means I can... Actually, this thing can fake it with a status build. It really can't do critical, unfortunately. It's got sub 2x critical multiplier, and it's got really low critical chance. But that's not exactly why I'm using this. So I'm using this to grope things to death. I'm actually going to real quick check the wiki and see if the Proboscis Cernos... Proboscis Cernos. Explode in a 7-meter radius after 1.5 seconds on impacting the surface. Appendages pulls all enemies within 9 meters towards the impact zone while causing slash and viral damage. Explosion has innate viral damage effective against flesh and clone flesh. Explosion delay reduces likelihood of inflicting self-stagger. Whoop-de-doo. Minimal accuracy penalty from heavy caliber. I kind of suspected as much, so I'm going to be equipping that. Fire rate mods apply double their bonuses, which is cautious shot. 90% chance. Oh, yeah, reduce self stagger. So Firestorm. I'll be using unkilled bodies will follow the arrow that killed them, damaging enemies in their path and pinning the corpse to walls. It does have an incredibly low crit chance. That's very low for bows in particular. Bows typically get by having a pretty high crit multiplier, with the exception of I think the Mutilus Cernos and 1 or 2 others. Then you have bows like the Dread, which has some of the highest crit potential of any weapon in the game. It is pretty much your one-shot kill bow. That isn't a area-wide portable nuke in the form of the Lens or the Brahma. The wiki is saying, what does it have? Yeah, it has a 50% damage fall off, which is huge. It does not have, as far as I know, any ammo conversion at all, which the Lens does innately, but has incredibly low ammo pool. This has an incredibly low ammo pool, but no damage conversion, or ammo conversion, so that's why I have Vigilante supplies. You don't need a special high-level Vigilante, or a high-level ammo mutator. Vigilante supply, base-level Vigilante supplies is probably all you need, or even better, where are you? Mutator, ammo mutation. Actually, the only reason I have Vigilante supplies is for that off chance that I maybe get crits, which I'm really not. I don't think it has higher ammo conversion, does it? No, it does not. I'm going to equip that, that'll free up a bit more room. So ammo mutation of some kind is not a bad idea. I'll be getting heavy caliber on there because wider area or wider spread on where the arrows go is a very good idea, I would think. It means you're covering a bigger area, so kind of a no-brainer. Its base explosive radius is not colossal, but pretty good. So I'm content in leaving Firestorm on there. I think that'll be fine. What is the max level ammo mutator? Arrow mutation. Yeah, it'll convert. And I don't need that. You don't need that much of a dramatic amount of ammo gain from each ammo pickup. Because you only have a max ammo cap of like 9. So having a regular one is fine. Vigilante supplies would not be bad though. Just because it provides Words. Actually, what does ammo drum max it cap its total ammo capacity at? That's a good question. That is a good question. If it's a 90% ammo maximum, that's probably like, if it's 9, then you're looking at probably 7-ish. 7 and change. This does not give me the ammo cap totals. I wish they would do that. So this would double your ammo capacity, so it would not be a bad idea either, but I can't fit it at the moment. Wow, my stream has already gone on a while. Let us see here. Mostly want to get heavy caliber on there and primed cryo rounds, because primed cryo rounds provides a pretty meaty what is word? Pretty meaty damage boost. 165% cold damage is not bad at all. The problem is actually fitting it. I'm gonna have to move things around. Polarity slots around, I should say. That's doable. This is a bow I'm pretty confident I'm gonna use a bunch, so I'm looking forward to formatting it a couple times. Metal Auger probably isn't going to do me any favors because the projectiles will go through enemies and through terrain and not necessarily do much good. What I would like to know is if Metal Auger affects the tentacles. Excuse me. Let's see. The other thing that's kind of a pain in the butt with this thing, with all of the Ceranos variants except for the Prime, is they all use a different riven pool. I don't like rivens. I don't care for them. I think they are a band-aid to a problem that is better fixed through actual balancing effort. Let's see. Will not pull enemies inside of a nullifier bubble. That's interesting. Will deal damage to the bubble on the arrow hit and on explosion, but not on pre-explosion damage ticks. Yeah, I could put Thunderbolt on there if I wanted to waste a mod slot. Because Thunderbolt does like a base of 150 damage, which is nothing, and to anything above like level 10 with no armor, and that is affected by armor. So it's pretty trash. Don't equip Thunderbolt, kids. The only time Thunderbolt could even be reasonably considered even a temptation is on the crossbows, which don't have especially high base damage. That damage from Thunderbolt is not affected by anything. By anything that you put on there, I should say. It's affected by armor. So it can go down, but it can never go up. It will never increase. So you can maybe get some use out of it on some of the lower damage crossbows, such as crossbow, the Attica, the Juge, the whatever this is, the Nagantaka. There's a Juge Prime now, isn't there? Yeah, there's a Juge Prime now. You could maybe get it to work on those. Although the Juge Prime already explodes, so it's sort of pointless. Unnecessary there. And those explosions do scale with mods, so they're good. An explosion, a Thunderbolt on basically anything else is a waste of a mod slot, with the possible exception of a Cernos Prime, which is sort of in a questionable state as it is, because the Cernos Prime does a big old fan of arrows, and each of those can explode, but it's still not really worth your time because the damage is absolutely pitiful. Absolutely pathetic. Might as well not exist. Don't recommend Thunderbolt as a mod. It isn't great. I need to find something to actually slot on here. I have 8 mod capacity juice to work with. What can I put on here? Critical mods are worthless to me. Most of the physical damage type mods are not going to be worth much for me. Weapon recoil doesn't do much good. Vigilante Fervor could be put into use because having additional draw speed is nice. Wildfire unfortunately only affects magazine capacity, so that's out, because you're never going to have magazine capacity with bows. It's always going to be one, with the exception of crossbows, obviously, because they're crossbows and they have the crossbows that have magazines, obviously, of greater than one arrow. I don't actually know what happens to a bow if you have like a riven that provides magazine capacity, if that's even a possible roll. As well as much magazine capacity as you can get. I don't know what happens. I assume nothing. I don't, because you have to still draw the string and everything. You just maybe have to. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't be something I'd go for. Not gonna bother with that. Amalgam Serration. Serration does more damage. I should max that out at some point, because this does boost sprint speed, but I don't really care about that. Terminal velocity wouldn't be bad. Having additional projectile speed would never hurt anyone. This song sucks. It's gone now. Probably I'll just put an elemental damage mod on. What does actual aim do? Movement speed while aiming. Near. Let's see, if I remove you, or move you, I can put, put an actual Stormbringer on, which will boost my damage by a reasonable amount. Nothing colossal, but enough. As far as something that's a 5-cost mod, I don't know. What 5-cost mods do you got? Not a lot. I can put in another damage type mod, or elemental damage type mod. That wouldn't hurt. But I kind of like having corrosive on there. Corrosive plus viral is kind of a huge deal. What is arrow periphery? Zoom while aim gliding. Womp. Don't really care. Fast hands for reload speed isn't bad, because you can start doing arrows faster. Drawing arrows faster. Continuous Misery might not be a bad idea. I can definitely see that being viable. I can see Catalyzer Link working in a pinch. Do I have a Continuous Misery that's maxed? I don't think I do. I don't. I should really do that. I'm gonna do that. Actions. No mods. Mods. Continuous Misery. Not that. That. Bump that up. And because I have a bunch of them. Uninstall. Yes. Boosts duration. I'm gonna actually make this. I'm gonna make variants. I keep doing that. I want it to be mods where I'll have one of each. Years ago, they said they were going to install a system by which if you had a mod maxed out, you could set it to have reduced levels. They said they were going to do that years ago. They still haven't. And as far as I know, they're never going to. Because they've done nothing about it. Sorry. And I'll have one that has a single pip. Mods. Continuous Misery. I like to do that. There was a time very early in the game's life where I tried to do that with every mod, is get enough duplicates so that you can have one of each, and then that was relevant and useful when pets had to have a separate mod, and then that stopped being useful. Oh, yes, I did upgrade it. Very good. So having additional status duration isn't bad.
I wonder if there are more to be had.
But now there's some viability in the sense that you can't downgrade a mod still, even though they've talked about it for ages. And some mods are quite rare indeed. Well, that's on aiming. That's pretty good. I might be able to make that work. but I don't really need it. You already have a fairly high status chance, so it's kind of like, I could, or maybe not. Proton Jet would probably get you further anyway, but it's slightly less easy to use. Because you have to do a wall latch first, and then... so when you're on open world areas, it's basically not usable, sadly. So I'll probably just equip like a... I don't know, thermite rounds or something. I might just leave it with Continuous Misery for now, just because I can't think of anything better to put on there. Someday I will max out Prime Fast Hands, but I never care enough to do it. Since it is the same, yeah. I just don't care. I just don't care enough. So, hasn't happened. Probably won't. But them's the breaks. I do have the endo to do it, but I keep waiting for the next great endo primed mod to come out so that I can max it out, and it hasn't happened yet. Again, crit. If I put that on there, what would that even do? Yeah, your crit would go up to 17.5% if you put on a point strike, so no, we're not doing that to ourselves. I'll leave Continuous Misery on until I can think of something better. I can put a 9-cost mod on once this thing is maxed out again, and we'll see. I'll keep the Arcarius because they go boom, and I like boom. I'll keep that because it's the Sigma and Octanus, and the Sigma and Octanus is love and life, all in one weapon. And really good on Mirage because she throws like 4. Exclamation notify. What does that mean? Should I type that in? I don't know. What sorcery is this? Oh gosh, it's chaining. I don't even know what that does. It's too late now. It's started. It's begun. Oh well. What was I gonna do? Kind of running low on time. I have like half an hour before I've got to run. Oh, that's right. I wanted to check. There was something I had building. What was it? What was it that I had building? Oh, no, it's the subsumed frame. So I can put Warcry on something and make it attack faster in melee. Is it done? It is done. Okay, let me find a frame to start subsuming so I can actually show how that works. If it'll let me, because I think I might not have the slots required. Vara doesn't have anything particularly thrilling. Necros doesn't either. Oberon kind of doesn't. What I'd really like to subsume is Protea, but I can't because I don't have all the Protea components, so maybe I'll go and farm that. Hydroid doesn't have anything worth doing. Garuda has extremely limited use abilities. She does the, it's her blood totem or blood altar or whatever it's called, which provides health regen over time, which I can see being worthwhile on a couple frames that have like high health or want to have regenerating health. Hi, bro, says Only Chill 12. I appreciate you tuning in, even though right now my brain is turning into mush. So my apologizes. Wow, it's one of those days. My apologies. Let's see. Hildren's is actually not bad, but it's kind of situational for the same reason as Garuda's is. It's like, oh, Saren chassis, blueprint, or relic. Let me check. Saren. No. I don't. I don't. Do you mean like the Saren Prime chassis blueprint? Because I don't have any of those spare. I don't have any Prime blueprints to spare. I'm low on ducats. I need more. Let me check if I have Saren Prime chassis. The answer is yes. I do. I have many. I have several. If you're on PC and you want to do some runs, now is the time. I have nothing better to do right now. So if you want to team up and we can do some runs, we can do that. I mean, if you want, I can trade for them if you want, but I'm happy to just do the runs as well. I'd almost kind of rather do the runs because that way everybody benefits. Borna123 / W invite Borna123. Yep, that makes sense to me. Alright, I will hop into my doho and shoot you a couple. And I will actually get some of them converted over. Let me do that right now because I've got some void juice to work with. Let me do that real quick. Sarin Prime Chassis. I have like none of those, so I'm just going to do it for the S2s. I'll get us like 4, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes. 4. That way I can give us 5 each. That'll make things a little easier, and then we can join with randos and see what we get. Where are you, Dojo? I don't know if it'll take you with me, but I'll just get you the invite. If it doesn't drag you with me, I'll invite you. Did not, or did it? Where is it? It's up here somewhere. This is not the best laid out dojo in the universe. There we go. Okay, trade. And they are the, oh my god, I forgot what they are. Items. Sarin Prime Chassis. Here we go. Meso S2s. Let me get you 5 of them. Conform. Offer. And I don't know. Just throw me a trash mod. I don't care. Perfect. I am not picky. Ordinarily, I'd ask for plat, but I don't care enough. I had some plat traits that went okay the other week, so I'm gonna leave the dojo. I may have to re-invite you. I say okay because it turned out that I could have gotten a lot more for what I wound up trading, but I didn't really care enough to bother. Invite, and let me add as friend as well, just in case. And if you need to join a dojo, I suppose I can invite you to my dojo as well. I have like nobody is ever active in my clan, ever. I'm not the leader of the clan, which is part of the problem. He's on occasionally. So if you want a dojo invite, please hit me up. That way you'll have access to all our researched stuff. Alrighty. These were... Oh my god, I'm having a really hard time right now. I apologize. No problem. I have to look up what the darn thing is. Sarin Prime Chassis, which is a Meso, right? Meso, yes. Meso S2. Meso. What do we got for Mesos? We've got Exterminates. No, that is a Lith. We've got Defense. Let me switch to my Salt Talks and Start Treaty has have failed. Nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. What is that mod called? Is it Growing Power? Growing Power. I do need to fit Growing Power on here somehow. Because applying status effects with weapons increases ability strength by 25% for 6 seconds, and that makes this build go bonkers. So I'll just get a meso. I guess we're gonna have to do the defense. If worst comes to worst, I can switch to a defensive frame. What are you bringing? Anesha Prime? Anesha's probably fine. I don't see a problem with it. I'm not gonna do spies, because spy fishes are a pain. I could do spy missions, they're not an issue. It's just, oh wait, no, that's a Neo. We're gonna have to do spy fishers. Whatever, we'll just do the now I have to switch back though. I'll switch to Octavia just to make my life easier. Oct. And with that, I've got actually I can make that Mirage build work, come to think of it, because I'll make it so that they can't activate consoles. Okay. Sorry, I'm being very indecisive today, and I apologize for everyone being inflicted on that with that indecision. I just have to make sure I've got a nuke in the box build. Okay. I then am ready whenever you are. I will get the mission queued up. We don't have to actually start it until you're ready. Alright, Saren, Prime, Chassis. Here we go. Yes. 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 Okay, we're good. That is an S2. Okay, easy. Just don't remember S2. So yeah, ready up whenever you're ready. Take your time. No rush. It's spy missions, Grineer spy missions. So those will take as long as they take. If you want me to do spy rooms, it's not a problem. I have no problem doing that. Better to, in my experience, better to let someone who knows what they're doing do it, or follow along, or just learn through your own mistakes. Ideally not dragging a group down with them, but I don't really care. I think we only need to get one, or is it two vaults, so it's not that big a deal. Alright. It's just the two of us, which is quite ideal. I should have asked, after this one I'll ask in chat to see if anyone wants to get in on it. Alright, first things first, let's farm up that reactant. I'm having a hitch. What just happened there? Oh, somebody just spawned in, that's what it was. No biggie. So we'll go get reactants. And then we'll do the whatever vaults we need to get done. I'm not sure how many. It might be all of them, but I don't think it is. Splat. Reactant get. I will start working on the vaults. They're the spy things. Normally I'd start with C, but I'll start with A because I may have to solo them. Oh my gosh, hit the button. Okay, it's this one. Is this active? I need to turn off the switch over here, so let me do that first. There we go. Is that going to turn off? Yes, it is going to turn off. We're good. Oh, I somehow got detected. That's fine. I got a bunch of auto breaches, which is nice. And this is closed. That's not so nice. I'm just gonna hack that. I don't. Just gonna use ciphers. Oh, I'm aiming too high. Keep thinking they drop more than they do. right past B. I'm smart.
Alarms. Data destruction is imminent. You need to hurry.
That's right, fall right through. That's fine. I don't think this guy needs my help, but I'm gonna help anyway.
Data integrity
He's got it.
verified. Retrieval
That
was
went
successful.
smoothly, I felt.
We cannot let enemy command know we were here.
It could have gone
Bring in
smoother,
everyone.
yes. But it happened. We did it. Alright, let me just learn how to bullet jump again. There we go. I'll land down here, and then I can go around. Right, that opens up a hole in the side? Yes, it does. Very good. Get out of my way. Alright. So that went smoothly. Like those are... Yeah, those are just cyan stars. I don't really need them. Oh, we have to eliminate targets now? Okay. Thanks, Lotus. Pharaoh Fawcett. Ah, I like that. I like the way this man names his critters. I get it. Like me and mine called Bib for tuna. Because A, Star Wars character, haha. And B, he's a cat, so he likes tuna. He's got a bib. Everybody has 10, right? Yeah, we're good. Alright, well, I guess I'll take that Paris Prime grip, because I need ducats. After this, I will disband the group, re-invite you, and I'll go into recruiting chat and get a group for the Saren Prime chassis, so that we're a bit more focused. And are more likely to get it. I should have done that for the first one. I apologize. I'm not thinking well. Part of that is due to my consumption of caffeine. It does not help me. Oh no, I got hey kiddoed. Okay. Oh, even better. Perfect. They left. I don't have to remake the group. So I'm going to go into recruiting chat. It was a Meso T what? Or S2? Saren Prime Chassis is a Meso S2. Recruiting. Hosting. Meso S2 Relic Rad Share 2-4. And we'll see if we can get some more bodies. Kind of a pain with the spy ones, but they're not that. Ah, here we go. We've already got a clarion call. Invites. H. Meso S2 Relic Red. Share. 3-4. We can probably make do with 3 out of 4. Worst comes to worst.
Ordis has been counting stars, operator. All accounted for.
I'm probably gonna go with my Octavia though, because I don't like being spotted at all. I could go with Ivara instead. That requires a bit more energy. I'm gonna stick with Octavia. What are we wait for mine to scroll off the screen before I type in another posting. Meso S2 relic rad 3 4. I tend to always put in PM me because every now and again somebody will think that somebody's actually reading the the recruiting chat who doesn't want to who's actually recruiting. I never do. Sorry. I never read recruiting chat unless I'm looking for something specific to join, and that's kind of a hash. Best course of action is probably looking for like a Discord with lots of people on it, i.e. find a dojo. Unfortunately, my clan does not have very many active members. There's one buddy of mine who's on at like the opposite hours of the day that I'm on, so we never meet up anymore here, unfortunately. The person who's the guild master hasn't been on in a very long time. I don't actually know how long it's been since he was on. Let me find out. I'm not gonna find out now. I'm gonna... wait another minute, then start as a trio, if that's okay. I try to be considerate to my group members by telling them plans of action. H Meso S2. Oh, good. Be the lucky person who gets a Saren Prime chassis for next to no effort. Probably people are looking at Meso and being like, ugh, I don't want to do a spy fissure. I know I did. Alright, let's go for it. I'm tired of waiting. Where are you, Meso Fishers? There you are. We're gonna go for it. S2. Whoops. S2. Let's do it. Okay. Whatever. Shadowed. Shadowed is ready. We will get our rockin' and a rollin'. And he is rockin' and a rollin' and a ready. The disadvantage of being with the game for as long as I have, with all the various relics that have come out, is my relics are overwhelming to look at. I have gorillions of them. And so without the search function, I would be completely lost. Fortunately, they added the search function. I think the current obscene convolutedness of the relics system, the bloat, is rather excessive and should probably get fixed. But here we are. Oh, I was too close to the explosion, that's why. Die.
Look out for reactants. The enemies are dropping
Looking for
reactors.
major enemy groups, and I am
It's
not
working on your
seeing
relic.
much. Please cut through that.
Tenno, be on the lookout for increased security measures. The enemy would rather destroy their
Nice,
data than let
he's,
it get into our hands.
Make sure I stay put. Not sure I would call my pet douchebag, but I'm not sure what I would call my pet anymore. Oh, I have 10 now. Very good. I guess I will head for A and move on
Finish your
with
mission
that.
to find out what's inside.
I'm going to shoot them. There we go.
You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start destroying.
Alright, which one is this? This is the easy one. We're fine. This one is, maybe one of the easiest spy vaults in the entire game now.
A clean extraction with no alarms.
I didn't want to do that at all. At all. It's too late, I've done it. It doesn't matter because I've already done the vault, so setting it off is wholly irrelevant at this juncture. Thank goodness. Ah, you fool. No, no. So upset. What? Oh, the explosion went right through it and killed him. It could have been that he was within the explosive radius anyway, and there were multiple detonations, so it might have just deactivated it and then blown him up right afterwards. Probably not something to count on. Why am I in here? No! I don't know where the air thing is. I have one.
Security override incoming.
We're fine though. We don't actually
The data
need.
retrieved will have to suffice. Get to extraction.
Override established.
We only need two.
Security protocols momentarily disabled.
Alarms successfully hacked. The location is returning to normal security levels.
Yeesh. I can always use more Forma. I'll keep the Forma. Ooh, a spare Hell's Chamber doesn't hurt anyone at all. That's nice. Make those shotguns have some extra oompah. Multi-shot being the magnificent thing that it is. Alright, we've got, what, 2 more of those, I think? 3 more, because I... 5. Alright, I'm gonna do one more ask, and then... Posting... Peso... S2... Relic... Wow. Nice. Relic... Rad share. 1 slot left! Exclamation points. PM me.
By those who dwell in the direction we cannot point to.
I'm pretty sure it's an S2, right? I haven't been saying the wrong one, right? Yes, good. I am not saying the wrong one the entire time. Well, I guess it's going to be the same thing each time. That's fine. Okay, we're going to do it again. Got a couple more. S2. 3 more. That's good. Plus I've got some spares, so if worst comes to worst, after I get some more void whatevers, I can make a few more if need be. I realize that the clan trade tax is kind of obnoxious, even though it's set to 0%, it always does a certain amount anyway.
Everything
Just to be
needed for
an
this
arbitrary
operator
credit sink,
is
but
that a
it's
pun?
not that difficult to get around or get the credits required.
Your mission is to break into any of the vaults and steal any intelligence files you find. Watch out. I'm detecting void fissures nearby. Do you have a matching relic? A fissure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics. They're dropping reactant. Use it to crack open. You are going to need more reactant. Want to open that relic. Tenno, be on the lookout for increased security measures. The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands. Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you.
What was that? Was that down below or up above? It's up above. Oh, that's right. Walk right into my explosion. That's fine. That should be all we need.
That's it.
He looks
You
like he's
opened the
going for...
relic.
Oh,
Finish your
sure.
mission and we'll take a look inside.
I guess I will go for B or C. I'll go for B. That's right. Get stuck on that doing parkour. Nice. Actually, we'll go for C. Take optimize our time slightly.
You're nearing the crystal.
Hack it,
Trigger
maybe?
the alarm now, and
Thanks.
they will start destroying the
Oh,
data.
it's this one. Okay. I will do this thing first. And hop up here. Roll through that once the barrier is gone, and we are Gucci. I forgot about the other detector
Destruction is
device.
imminent. You need to hurry. You got it.
Going
The
to
data is still
plant
intact.
Where are you?
Hacking into enemy systems. Await override. Override delivered. Security systems temporarily
I
disrupted.
thought that guy was going for
Alarms successfully hacked. The location is
A, but
returning
apparently
to
not.
normal
So
security
I'll go for
levels.
A now. Unless B is in trouble. Okay, B's toast. That's fine. This is also one of the very, very easy ones. It's like literally one bullet jump away.
Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone. The data we retrieved will have to suffice. Get to extraction.
I'm not sure what's being summoned in. These guys are nothing. For a moment there, I was worried. Stalker can sometimes catch one by surprise. Gristrag 3 can be a bit of a nuisance. Zanuka can be a tad annoying, though most of them go down rather quickly. Stalker right now, or the, what is it, the one that wields the war, the Shadow Stalker, is a bit trickier. It's mostly just about learning his tells. and what exactly he's throwing in your general direction. Like, oh, is he just standing there because the AI is stupid, or is he standing there because, you know, because he's absorbing all the damage you throw at him and then is going to kill you to death. So once you know that, he's not that big a deal. I don't know who Sarge Divinity is, but he's out there. I can make it to him in time, or he can revive. That's fine. That's fine. I went the wrong way. Lee. No luck today. Not yet, anyway. None of these do me any good. I'll take a Bronco Prime. And then I will ask the recruiting chat again, see if anybody joins. So I'm trying to maximize how many of these I can do. Oh, that's right, I don't need to adjust that. Meso S2 relic red share. One slot left! Exclamation point. PM me. I think we only have one more. I don't remember. I have to find out.
Stand by while I analyze the intelligence profiles of the Grenier. Error, not a number.
Nothing.
Did the operator
Nothing.
enjoy this witticism?
Nothing. Oh well. Give it another 60 seconds or so. Actually, once we're out of these, I'm gonna have to go because I'm running quite short on time, as it turns out. Void. Not many. Ah well. Fingers crossed. Some days you get lucky quick, some days you don't. I don't know what the specific drop rate is, unfortunately. It's probably not very high. It is a Radiant, and even with a Radiant, your actual odds of getting one is still, I think, less than getting an uncommon. The actual visual display they have is a bit misleading. It's typically quite a bit less. It looks like, oh, I'm guaranteed, it's like an 80% chance to get a Radiant, or a rare from a Radiant. No, it's like 20%. It's not huge.
The enemies are reactant.
It is not especially large, sadly.
Find more. You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors. Tenno, be on the lookout for increased security measures. The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands. That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go for A.
We're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms
gonna
now
go
and they will
for-
start destroying the data.
That one. And there's one down below if I want to do this cleanly. I need to go for. Where are you? There it is. I want to do this cleanly. I want to go here. Deactivate that one, then come back out the surface and go up top so I don't have to open the door. Wait for that to go away, go down it, and
Excellent work.
ciphered.
A clean extraction with no alarms.
Right now I'm just doing ciphers, I'm not bothering with the other stuff. I'm not bothering to input them, mostly because my time right now is at a premium. Just trying to get at least one of them done quickly. There's B, there's B. There we go.
The target console is nearby.
What do we
If you
got
trigger the alarms
here?
now,
Oh, this
the
one.
enemy
This
will
one's
start
super
destroying
easy.
data. Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone.
Oh, C is the one that's got the data
The data
purging.
we
Okay.
retrieved will have to suffice. Get to extraction.
What? Let's kill away you. Oh, because he doesn't have any, that's fine. City Hand's not especially impressive, particularly for a rare mod. Really didn't do a whole hell of a lot of good. Boom! Everybody's got 10. Very good. And fingers crossed. Nope, nothing. That would be too easy. Alright, let me see how many void traces I have. 500. How many of these do I have? I have, so S2. There we go. 7. I can make some of these work. Exceptions. Don't care about that. I can make a couple more of these. Radiant. 2. 3. I do need some void traces for other things, so I'm going to hold on to that for now until I get a few more. How many did I just make? Meso S2. I'm gonna make 2 more. That way I can give them 2 each.
Stand by while I analyze the intelligence profiles of the Grineer. Error, not a number. Did the operator enjoy this witticism?
Meso S2. Have to remember that because I will forget. That one is the one up here. Okay, or you can deny the trade request, that's fine. Alright, the other guy ran away, so I'm gonna hope that there's somebody in, and I'll get you re-invited in a sec. Borno123 / onlychill12. Invite. Alright, he bailed, so I'm going to hosting Meso S2 relic for Saren Prime Chassis 2/4. Where's the Sporothrix? Alright, the Sporothrix is the one that has the components that drop. Ugh. Things I'll get around to doing eventually. Alright, I have about 10 minutes I can burn on this, and then I do have to run, and I do mean run. I'll have to sprint and then drive like a maniac to be where I need to be.
Ordis has been counting stars, operator. All accounted for.
So nobody's joining. So I'm going to have to get this started because my time is at a premium. We'll do 2 runs of this and S2, there we go. And I've got a scoot.
Tenno, you are here to infiltrate data points and retrieve highly sensitive enemy information.
The Grineer have no honor.
Jout, I'm detecting void fissures nearby. Do you have a magic relic? Sure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics.
We may just get lucky. I don't know.
Use it to crack open a relic.
It's happened before.
Keep fighting. Look for more reactant.
That's satisfying to use. It's so satisfying
Be on
to
the lookout
use.
for increased security measures. The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands.
There we go. I was wondering where that number would update. Splendid.
That's it. You opened the relic.
I'll go for number
Infiltration and
letter
take a look
A.
inside.
Number A, golly.
You're near console. Trigger the alarms
This
now,
one
and they
is
will start
another
destroying
one
the
where I
data.
have to do the slightly more involved if I don't want to be detected route, but it is not too bad once you get the route memorization down. I want to roll or slide out of that instead of getting bopped or staggered. I do that, there will be no detector camera beam thing, which shouldn't have picked me up anyway, but it did. I should probably try that with an Ivara,
Excellent.
with that one augment that Ivara has that makes it so that lasers don't affect you anymore, and see if that works. It probably doesn't, because that only works like half the time now for some reason. Where are you? Oh my god, where is it? There it is. That is too late.
Systems await override.
Oh, good timing.
Override delivery. Security systems temporarily disrupted.
Alarms have been reset.
This guy's probably on top of it, but I'll go over this way anyway because the exit might be nearby. Oh, because there was a nullifier, that's why. Got it, got it, got it.
We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
There we go. Great success. All right. That's actually a really nice note to end the stream on. Searching after that much desired component. It's a rare. Those are always a pain, and I think Saren Prime is vaulted too. Um, so I'm glad we were able to get that. So that's superb. I'm probably just gonna burn it for ducats, but I'm glad I was able to help someone out. That was good. So yeah, with that I do have to run. I do gotta scoot. A pleasure being of help. If you need to join a clan/dojo, give me a holler. You want a spare? I mean, okay. I can give you a spare if you want. Other than the plat that it'll give you. Oh, if you need it for a friend, absolutely. Okay. Sure. Dojo. I know how to click buttons. Let me do that real quick. Holler. Holler. I know how to type. He's in. Oh, shoot. I think you're out of your daily trades. Because we did 2 in your mastery rank 4. Because it's not showing up with any available. I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow. I will try to be on tomorrow at about noon Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, I would. I'd love. I will try to be on tomorrow at about noon Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, if you ever see me when I'm on, just hit me up. I've sent you a friend request. If you want to join the clan, please feel free. God knows we don't have enough active members as it is. I'm not going to upgrade it to be higher than whatever it is right now. I think it's not a moon or a it's not a moon or a mountain. It's the low ranking one. So whatever that is, because that's in terms of resource costs is much more manageable. I stream every Wednesday at noon, doing Warframe anyway. I try and make that regular. I tend not to stream Warframe anyway, other days of the week, but I do have other streams throughout the week. I do a Mecha Mondays stream where I do something giant robot related or mecha adjacent. And I do have a Storytime Saturday stream when I read short stories or indeed entire books aloud. Right now we're doing a read through of The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert Heinlein. So if you have an interest in a blueprint of a successful revolt against an authoritarian oppressor that happens to be on the moon, then that is the stream for you. I know that's kind of a niche interest, but hey, it's there. It's a thing. I do try to play Warframe for at least a little while every day, though, but I tend not to stream it more than once a week. But I should hopefully be on tomorrow at noon. If I'm not, I should be on later in the week. So again, if you see me on, hit me up. That goes to anybody watching. Please hit me up if you're on PC and you play Warframe. It's not so much that I want the attention, it's that I want to be able to be helpful. If I can help somebody, so much the better. So I will hold on to this Saren Prime chassis for you for a while until I forget, basically. And then I'll get it to you. Yeah, no, I try. I try to be the best. I usually don't succeed, but I try to be helpful. And Warframe, God knows the new player experience is hard enough. It's... the game tells you nothing. If you go onto the wiki to learn things on the wiki, it's immensely overwhelming. It is such an overwhelming experience. What is this god-awful noise being played right now? Oh, it's Daredevil. That's why it's god-awful noise. Hide owned. Can I hide researched? Progress. There we go. Alright. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully other people can tune in. Sorry I missed you this week, Kazong. I will do a repeat of the Mesa stream if I need to. That's not a problem. Because I do it every week. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, folks. Have a great week. Stay safe. Stay warm. Right now where I am, it's snowing. It's cold. If you're in the US of A, have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm not going to get into a diatribe of the politics of Thanksgiving because it's honestly, don't delve into the history of Thanksgiving. Just take any excuse you can get to eat like warm, tasty food. As far as I'm concerned, that's the way to be. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a great week, or fewer days than that if you choose to tune into some of my other streams. And enjoy life to the fullest extent that you can. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. I'm Fraggoth again.